Baran. The name of the nameless king is Baran. By the way, spoiler warning for solo leveling. And with that said, hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergok, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at who this is and if Jinwoo should raid her dungeon. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as say thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. Solo Wrestling 8th episode was gold. And we also saw the biggest power move in anime so far in 2025, because Jinwoo was actually walking into a king's castle, faced off his guards, and told him to his very own face that he was going to take his daughter with him for exploration purposes. Now this is a risk level that's definitely over 9,000. So once again we have to ask us two things. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? And of course, who is this anyway? Well, her name is Sylphiette, and actually she is the childhood friend of Jinwoo. But he now doesn't recognize her because she has a different hair color now. Seriously? This is Esil Radiru, the eldest demon daughter of the demon king Radiru, a demon and a creature that Jinwoo would normally slay without a second thought, like with his daggers. Like so many of the goblins, the orcs and the other monsters that he had finished off. But now for the first time, we have also seen that these creatures are sentient, that they have an actual personality and to a limited degree a free will. And again, this girl, Esil, has a sense of self and a sense of her surrounding. For example, she disclosed the intel on the 90th floor, and that this is just a way stronger area of the dungeon than the other 90 levels. And she also had shown that her and by extent her clan have a survival instinct. And again, at this stage in the anime, all of this is vital information for us, simply because we don't know that much about all of these monsters yet, other than they appear and that there's a voice that tells them to just annihilate humanity. And we also have seen another curious thing. While all of the other knights that escorted the eldest princess gave their life protecting her, she happily surrendered to Jinwoo and his high-ranking Wisdad. But she's also quite sneaky and devious, because once Jinwoo's back was turned, she was more than happy to backstab him quite literally, which reminds me a bit of Kazuma and Chris from Konosuba. And she also has an exceptionally high luck stat comparably to Kazuma's, since she wasn't immediately turned to yet further experience points by Jinwoo, or taken out after she tried to backstab him, which honestly is kind of a red flag, but hey. When Sakura can forgive Sasuke, who am I to judge Jinwoo and his taste in monster women? And this demoness, as she herself has disclosed, used to live in a demon realm before she arrived on the 80th floor, which was then defended by her and her clan, because it was told to her by apparently a voice that also holds command over her, at least to a very certain extent, and that has told her to slay any intruders that would enter the 80th floor. And just for context, no, this is not the same low voice that Sister Leveling used in this one scene with Jinwoo and Jinna, but that's beside the point. Apparently, she is under the same or a similar entity's command that also commanded Baruka, the Ice Elf, to attack humans. So to summarize this part, she is intelligent, and there's someone or something that is actually controlling and directing her. And she was also just transported from the demon realm to the 80th floor, so she basically arrived. Just like, for example, Einsulgon was transported to the New World. And again, all of this shows that these enemies, these monsters, can actually be a normal person, and that they are not just mindless killing machines. And the luck also goes the other way around, because it was Jinwoo's humanity and his mercy that ultimately enabled him to win the fight against Baran, because Esil was still alive to intervene just long enough so that Jinwoo could find an opening and finish him off. Now, for actual combat power, she is obviously weaker than Jinwoo, Baran, or Fang, the orc with the magic orb, but she was stronger than Tank, the buff bear, and she is actually an incredibly powerful fighter, similar to Baruka the Ice Elf, because Esil would be actually an S rank in terms of raw strength and magical power if she was measured the same way that the other S ranks were assessed in the world of solo leveling, meaning she, as the oldest daughter of the Demon King from the 80th floor of this dungeon, was still incredibly powerful in her own right. But again, because the dungeon had 20 other levels, because the difficulty spiked on the last 10 floors, and because Baran and Sun Jinwoo are obviously way stronger than her, she seemed weak by comparison. But again, compared to most beings in the human world, she is a true and utterly terrifying monster. As for her name, Esil might mean blessed or fortunate one, which could be a reference to being lucky enough that she encountered Sun Jinwoo and that she had her life spared twice. Or it is simply just the German name Lise backwards, we don't know. But since she has two well-attached arms, we can in any case safely abandon the idea that the name is short for Ezekiel. Finally, the most pressing question: is it okay to pick up this girl in a dungeon and raid her own? Well, the answer to this depends on 3 criteria I recently was educated about by the YouTube algorithm. You see, I learned about it since YouTube suggested an ungodly amount of furry-themed content to me ever since I accidentally clicked on a Linux-related video. It is known as the Harkness Test, and there are basically 3 rules to it that basically any non-human creature needs to pass in order to give consent. The first one, does this character have human-like intelligence or greater? The second one is, can it talk or otherwise communicate with language? And the third one, is it of sexual maturity for its species? Only if all things can be answered with a clear yes, then you are free to raid the dungeon to your liking. And again, thank you YouTube algorithm for educating me on this topic. I really needed to learn this at 3 o'clock in the morning. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching. The source material is linked down in the video description for further education purposes. And of course, what do you think about the new best girl of solo leveling, Baran, and of course about Esil? Let me know it down in the comment section. And with that said, also please check out my German channel, and if you don't want to listen to my voice or accent but are still interested in the things I have to say, I also have made an AI channel narrated by almost a woman, where I use AI voiceovers for my videos. And the channels are all linked down in the video description. Also please check out my Patreon if you want to support me beyond just leaving a like or sub. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, thanks to my Patreons for supporting this channel, and as usual, I say my special thanks to Order Daddy Order, ASK, Bad Girl Yee, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon S, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Din Pep, Dragonlord Placidus Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Le Louche Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Love Razor, Meruvek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, Oh Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pentum, Personage, Ruru, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Q&A Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Sonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.